Welcome to the last bit of Monster Boy in the first game. Oh boy. This is, well, as I say, this is the last video. This is probably the last video, at least for now. Obviously that means we're going to the final boss. So I will tell you right now that I'm going to keep both attempts in because there was something. But I am going to cut the first attempt down because I'll tell you what happened when I got there. But anyway, enjoy this, enjoy the darkness and the epic final boss moments. I'm glad you're here. So it's around here. I kind of had a bit of a feel for because Uncle Nabu and Zeke show up out of nowhere. These guys who clearly have no business here show up to help me out. Like to help out Jim. I'm like, oh wow. Oh, and WOGO. They all show up to assist me. And I'm going, what the heck? Oh my god, you guys. And like I got that, I almost threw up because that happened. But I was voice acting, I was type for this fight. I love this boss movie too. Okay, so here, it's around here where the glitch finally kicked off. Basically, I wasn't supposed to fight the boss the way I did. I just pretty much went Mr. Dark Lord here and break through his defenses. Essentially, you're actually supposed to transform into a dragon during this phase. Maneuver through all this mess and hit him. But I said screw that because I have an invincible command now. I can just dash above his head and smack him. So I did. Now at this point, I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, what do I do? And I transform into dragon first because the boss is just floating around. I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I hit it, it'll actually try and do something like attack me. No, it didn't. And at this point, I tried to transform into a different form, but I was stuck. And as you can notice, I can't even turn around. I can't even turn around to face the boss. So I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? I'm literally stuck as a dragon. I can't transform. I think I can still. No, I can't even really. No, I can still pause the game, but I can't change form. I'm stuck in this form because it was actually meant for the previous phase, as I mentioned before. So there was nothing that I could do, but essentially just kill myself. I posted this as a glitch to the developers, and they said, oh, they were like, oh crap. Thank you for pointing it out. They fixed that right away. I'm not sure if they did or not. But I learned my lesson and I learned what I had to do and just went from there. So I'm just making a jump about something like okay, we know what happens, so you know what? We know what happens. I don't really feel like explaining how this boss fight works. I mean, it's kind of obvious how things work in this boss fight. In the first phase, you have to basically need to break every orb using the associated of the 5 forms that he has. And then the second phase is just transform, and you just transform to the correct form and deal with that. The only thing that actually kind of bothered me is like there was nothing for pig face. Like there was nothing really for the pig face. Kind of just was stuff. Anyway, I do it properly this time. I'm just gonna shut up and you guys can enjoy everything after the end. Oh god, I love the ending. I love this game, and again, so here's pretty much my final thoughts on this game. There is a little bit of an aftermath cutscene, but it's just like a scene, and I'm gonna try and jump cut to that because I did spend a lot of time talking about what I liked and disliked about this game. So, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, I have to thank FDG Games and Game I'll Tell You for just, again, for sending me a free copy of this game to play. I'm mad, like, the only real thing I'm mad about for this is that my PC is apparently not up to snuff to play this game at full. Because again, like, if you guys remember in the earlier parts, I did talk about that a bit. Like during the pig phase, well, during one of the pig bits, I couldn't make a jump because my frame rate wasn't correct. It wasn't at 60, it was actually lower than 60, and I thought to myself, well, it actually, like, I didn't think that would matter, but it does. Just like with this game and Fox and Forest, it matters. But it was weird because I was able to play through Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap perfectly fine. And then I come here and it's just like, oh, something's wrong. Frame rate. Okay. So I don't know if it was the fact that my computer's been getting that the computer's updated a lot, or it's just a thing of technology. I don't know. But I need to upgrade my computer. I'm not holding that against it. I'm not holding that against this game though, because this game is great. What I will hold against this game is pretty much, it's hard to say to hold anything against this game, to be honest. Maybe some of the puzzles, maybe some of them that weren't like it was rather difficult to figure out like what I'm supposed to do to solve this puzzle. But at the same time, a lot of the puzzles that I had some real trouble with was actual treasure chests. So it's not really that big of a deal. What I will say, so everything else about this game is great. I do hope that I can just like refight all the bosses using whatever form I wish, just like in Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. Like all I have to do is just run back to the boss room and just be like, oh, I can refight this boss. Cool. I hope I can do that. If not, well, that's kind of a downer. But oh well, I can kind of just replay the game again, but I want to have all my forms. Oh, yeah, the form usage. Kind of hard to say it without. I honestly felt like once I got Dragon form, I didn't really feel a use for any of the other forms besides Frog form. Like really, it was just like, okay, I have Dragon form, and I have Lion. Well, I have Dragon, Lion, and Frog. Snake didn't exactly feel that useful unless like the area was specifically designated for Snake form. And virtually the same thing with Pig form. Like once you got the other three forms, everything else felt useless. Like everything else just felt like, okay, well, I should never go to this form ever again because I will have no defense, etc., etc. I love it. Again, so I love this game. I was looking forward to this game for quite a while, and I'm glad that they finally went out of their way to actually make the Steam version happen. So here are my stats. I did die a lot, and the reason why I died a lot is because I did that gold grinding method that just about everyone has done, which is go to the volcano, go to the volcano to that one section, get coins, die, lather, rinse, repeat. Oh, anything else? Yeah, the story is predictable, but I mean, it's very charming, and this is what I feel should be. This is what I feel should be like how you do like a remake, whatever the heck you want to call it these days. Remix. I enjoy when they do this to games. I'm not exactly sure how I'll feel about that when Final Fantasy VII remake comes out, but we'll see. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But this being an extremely old game, apparently that I never played, and this being a remake, I'm glad it got remade. I have a friend that is very critical of this remake because he says like, oh well, this game is incredibly hard. He says like, oh, the game's incredibly hard and it's unfair and the hitboxes are bad and stuff. Like, are you sure we're playing the same game? There are some sections in this game that can be a bit difficult, but it's not impossible. It's not like, oh, I'm fighting Undertale Sands I'm or I'm playing Dark or I won't even bring up Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls is just like, okay, I'll just keep doing this until I finally get it right. This is essentially like this is how retro games were. It's like you just keep trying and coming back till you finally get it down. I do feel like going back to playing the original version, which is also on Steam because of the whole Sega Genesis emulator thing. I do feel like going to go play that. So I might go try that. But as in terms of Steam games on the PC, I'm I'm going to cut back on that. I'm going to cut back on that because my experience with this and everything that happened, while I do enjoy this game a lot, I think I need to upgrade my PC before I go back into playing more PC games. Because it's a lot of things I just don't really notice. It's a lot of things I just don't notice with PC games. Like when I played Pharaoh Rebirth Plus, I didn't notice for the longest time that my frame rate was way too low, so the game was just moving at a snail's pace, at least from what other people described it. Like no one really described it to me either. Like no one said anything. I had no idea that the game was supposed to run at 60 frames per second. I had zero idea. And then I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how it's actually supposed to play. I wish I knew that earlier. And it's virtually the same thing for this game. Like I'm learning more and more about like just playing games on the PC. Most of the games, like a lot of the games I played on PC, I was able to handle easily, and there was literally no problem. But now I'm starting to see like, okay, well, I'm gonna need better stuff. I don't know if I'll ever have. I don't know if I'll ever actually have a much better PC anytime soon, because saving up for that kind of stuff is difficult. Like the last time I tried to save up for a much better graphics card was years ago, and that was when like Bitcoin and stuff kicked in. Like once I finally had the money like saved up and ready to go, I had no help in terms of how to find a graphics how to get a graphics card, the right one. And then graphics cards suddenly shot up in price. Like the price for a graphics card like went way too high for no reason. I was like, okay, well I have like $300 saved up. I can I can pretty much get a decent graphics card and I can play some of these games pretty easily. The minute I had that money, graphics card shot up to like $700. So yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to actually get like a much better. I do want to get a much better PC because it's been years since I've had this one. It's still reliable. I just need a better one. I just apparently need a better one now because, well, I guess it's time. It's been like I want to say it's been like 5 years or so, maybe longer. So yeah, I want to cut back on playing games on Steam until I can finally upgrade or just straight out buy a better PC. And I hate to say that. Anyway, that is a whole different story. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, I love it. I feel like playing I feel like playing the original version. Heck, I feel like playing the other I feel like playing the Wonder Boy series and going to see what that is. I think I can play those and not have a problem. I believe I can play those and not have a problem because I mean that's retro. Like that is total retro and that's like Sega emulator stuff. And last I checked, I can still play a Sega Genesis emulator with no problem. So yeah. What else is there to mention? As for the next playthrough, I believe I mentioned it on my YouTube. I mentioned it on my YouTube channel, which if you actually viewed it, if you actually view the actual channel page on the community tab, I have made a couple posts, and I talked about there's like 4 games I've been really looking into playing, and one of them I've actually been playing at the time of this recording, well, this re-recording. Mirror Master Rebirth. So that might actually be the next game to fill in this slot, or not, because like I'm debating as to whether or not to keep this time slot because not too many people view videos at this time anymore. Probably due to school. So I'm going to stop talking and I'll stop. Well, this is the end of Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. So wave goodbye. If I come back to it, it might be on a stream or it might just be another playthrough. This is definitely one of my favorite playthroughs, despite all the troubles that I had, including the trouble of having to redo commentary. I am Brad Reed, the Gaming Mole. This was Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, brought to you by FDG Entertainment and Game Altair. I will see you guys later. Refight the bosses. Can you refight?